Alright guys, so what we're going to be looking at this week for our series is lower abdominal control. So really important in a few different populations, but firstly what we're going to look at is postnatal lower abdominal control. So especially with the hormones that are produced during pregnancy, it causes a lot of instability in the pelvis and a lot of laxity around joints and ligaments. So it's really important that what we do is we first teach the body postnatal to control the pelvis, stability around the pelvis, especially when we're looking at integrating exercise back into our program. A lot of the time people go wrong, especially females, when they've had things like diastasis recti, so separation of the abdominals. They try and strengthen their core by and that can actually make the problem worse. So what's really, really important is that we look at using those lower abdominals, so transverse abdominis, to cement the core by stabilizing the pelvis, and then from there work and then into more complex exercises. So once you can control the pelvis and you can stabilize from an activation point of view, then we can then look at integrating more exercises, and eventually you can use that exercise like a squat or a deadlift.
When we're learning how to activate TVA, the first thing we need to think about is getting some feedback, so some tactile feedback. So we use fingers to do that. So we're going to be pushing down, so coming in from the side of the pelvis, about 3 to 4 centimeters, and we're going to push down nice and deep. So remember, you're going through a lot of layers of muscle, so you really need to apply enough pressure to feel the contraction. What you then need to do is I want you to cough. So when you cough, you get activation through TVA, so it gives you a really good indicator of how to feel that contraction, but we only need about 20 to 30%. So the best way to do that is once you've coughed, you can feel that contraction, then we're going to push the lower back down around, and we're going to feel that muscle pushing up into our fingers. The best way to think of it is that you're drawing down. So as you draw down, you'll feel the muscle contract up into the fingers, but it's not a protrusion, so you're not pushing. You're really thinking about pushing, drawing down through the belly button. So once you've got that contraction, what you then need to do is you need to have a nice deep breath in through the nose and out through the mouth. The goal of this exercise is to hold that contraction on, but really while you're breathing, you're feeling the rise and fall of the diaphragm, you're keeping the contraction stable. If you can hold that contraction, then you're activating TVA. Alright guys, now we're going to look at a progression. So once you're sustainably able to activate for a good couple of minutes, holding that contraction, getting really nice deep breaths, what we're going to move on to now is changing the feet, but maintaining that. So if you think about when you're running or walking, you get a lot of change in feet. So what we're teaching the body to do is we're teaching the lower abdominals to stabilize the pelvis with change in feet position or movement through the feet or arms or legs. What you're going to do is you're going to activate, getting that lower back pushed down into the ground, feeling that contraction, and then what I'm going to do is I'm going to lift one foot off the ground, and then I'm going to change. So the key to this one, guys, is looking at the change in feet. Change feet, you want to maintain that pelvic position. What we don't want to see is as you change feet, we get a drop through the pelvis or a change like this. Alright, so you really got to focus on holding that pelvic position, changing the feet, and getting nice deep breaths. So when you get really good at it, you should be able to hold a conversation or have nice deep smooth breaths where you're not really thinking about. Just got a really stable transverse abdominis.